Hi, Doug Hasty here, Down to Earth Golf. Right now I want to talk about practicing putting. Not many people practice their putting enough, and that's why they're not very good putters. Some people spend a lot of time on the practice green, but they still don't get that much better because they don't practice properly or in a way that's going to help. When I go to practice green with my putter, I'm going to have usually one of three different goals. One could be to practice my stroke, which means practicing getting that ball to start on the line that I'm looking at. Okay, get it to the starting direction correct. Second goal could be to get the distance correct, get my feel, if you want to call it correct, hitting at the distance I want it to, which is really important in putting. And the third really for me is to work on my pre-shot routine and being under pressure putting and working on my mental aspect of putting. So let's say I want to go to the putting green and work on my stroke. If I'm going to work on my stroke, I'm always going to use alignment aids like I've got down here. These are just alignment sticks. You can use clubs, you can use a piece of doweling, it doesn't matter. Okay? But I'm going to use them. And I want to make sure that I know where I'm lined up if I'm working on my stroke. Because otherwise, I could be lined up wrong and my stroke is perfect, but I think my stroke is wrong, or vice versa, and I'm really not doing myself any good. So for me personally, when I go to work on my stroke, I usually work on short putts, 4 to 6 foot putts. Got alignment aids down. I get a nice straight putt, so there's no break to this putt, and I go ahead and I make a whole bunch of putts in a row, working on starting on the line I want. So that was pretty easy for me. So what I would do is I might make it a little longer, but I might make these sticks a little closer together. So that now I've only got a little bit of space between them. And I work on my stroke. When I was really trying to play, I learned from a lady named Vicky Getz, who played on the LPGA Tour for a number of years. 6 feet putts with alignment aids down, nice straight putt, nothing fancy, okay? Should be pretty easy, and I would have to make 100 in a row before I did anything else. Maybe you want to give yourself a goal of 10 in a row, maybe 20 in a row, whatever it is for you. But if you're going to practice your stroke, make sure you have alignment aids down. Now you can hit longer putts. If you're hitting longer putts, I wouldn't recommend worrying too much about how far you're hitting it. You know, hit 10-foot putts, hit 20-foot putts. Practice your stroke for those longer putts to get your starting line correct, and figure out the length of your stroke. But again, I would much more worry about the starting line. So you know, make a 20-foot putt, but make sure you're starting on the line you want to, and that's your main goal if you're working on your stroke. And just make that your goal for the day. Okay? Okay. Now, if I want to work on my distance control, then usually I don't have alignment sticks down. There's a number of different ways I do it. I'm going to have a list of drills you can do. But the main thing I want you to remember is I don't hit the same putt twice in a row. So I'm not going to hit 2 15-foot putts in a row or 2 20-foot putts in a row. Nothing. Never 2 putts in a row that are the same. I might even hit a 10-foot putt, and then an 11-foot putt, and then a 12-foot putt, and then a 9-foot putt. You know, only 1-foot differences. But never am I trying to hit 2 10-foot putts in a row, because I don't get that chance in the golf course. And I don't want to, this doesn't do me any good practicing it here. I want to be able to look at a distance and hit at that distance and figure out how big my stroke is going to be to hit at that distance. So there's lots of drills I do, but the main thing is I never hit 2 putts in a row that are the same distance. Here I'm hitting 100 putts in a row that are the same distance. Totally different idea, totally different practice style, or practicing for different things. If I'm working my routine, I could do either, okay? Usually if I'm working my routine, I just take one ball and I putt around the green just like I would on a golf game, and I make sure I go through my pre-shot routine, I read every putt the same as I would in the golf course, make a decision, commit to that decision, hit the putt, then pick a different putt, go through my whole routine again and do it. And I mark the ball with the coin, do everything the same that I would in the golf course. So that kind of practice looks totally different from the other two. So when you go to the putting green, I'd really recommend going there with a goal. You can do all 3 if you want, but make sure you're only working on one goal at a time. Either you're working on your stroke, trying to make sure that you hit it on the line that you're lined up on, or that you want to hit it on. You're working on your distance control, your feel, where you never hit 2 putts in a row the same. Or you work on trying to bring it to the golf course, which means you're going to do everything you do in the golf course, from marking the ball to reading the putt, going through your whole routine, and then hitting the putt. That's much different than just taking 3 balls, which a lot of people do, drop them on the green, hit them all three to the same hole, then get them and hit all three to the same hole again. That's not doing a whole lot of good, okay? So practice smart, practice properly, and you'll get better at putting.